Good morning, ladies. Happy post 4th of July weekend. I don't know about you, but that was definitely a different 4th of July than I've ever experienced. And I'm not talking about fireworks, but it definitely was super reflective. And it was really something that I had to sit and reflect upon and going, okay, what is it that I'm actually celebrating here? And how we are currently dismantling a really broken, fucked up system that I'm super psyched about. Anyway, I'm here today to talk with you. I'm going to do all empath all summer long. And I wanted to start with some empath fun facts because why not? So, maybe you've taken my quiz, maybe you haven't. If you haven't, it's up in the announcements section. And so if you haven't, check it out. It's super awesome. And so anyway, in a nutshell, what an empath is, if you don't know, is we move through life as feelers. We feel everything, and we are major absorbers. We're absorbers of our own emotions and energy. We are absorbers of other people's emotions and feelings and energy. Hi, Stacy. And some empaths even absorb other people's physical pain. Some of them, and I'll go into this at some other point during the summer, but some empaths even feel the earth and all the natural disasters that happen along with what happens with the earth. So we are like human sponges, and we are also human lie detectors. So we could, super tough. I totally get it. Especially now because we're feeling the weight of the world, right? And so empaths are 20% of the population. Okay. So we're a bunch of freaks of nature, but super awesome freaks of nature that if you can harness the gifts that come along with being an empath, like your entire world is going to change. So if you do not know that you're an empath, go take my quiz and start to learn, because it's a really amazing journey. So of that 20%, most empaths are introverted. Okay. It is very rare to have an extroverted empath, and I am one of them. So it's quite a dichotomy being me. Stacy, totally. Me too. I actually considered being a detective at one point, like in my 20s. I'm like, that'd be really cool to be a personal investigator, or a private investigator. I would rock at it. And then I realized that another part of being a gift, of having the gift of being an empath, is that no matter where you go, you are literally, people are telling you their life story. And that's kind of what happened to me. And I was like, oh, wait, I think I actually should get paid for this, because I was helping another person, and I was feeling good doing that. And so a lot of empaths are healers too, aside from the human lie detector. And so, but going back quickly to the introvert extrovert thing, if you've ever taken the Myers-Briggs personality inventory, we often show up as either introverted intuitives and or intuitive feelers. So it'll be an INF or an ENF. Some people, I have a friend of mine who is an IN, and she's a thinker. But when she took the empath quiz, she's like, oh my God, I'm a total empath. So it shows up a lot as the IN or the NF I'm an ENFP. That's how it shows up in the Myers-Briggs personality inventory. And we just see the world differently. We are highly aware of our pain points and other people's pain points, and we are able to like that know what another person needs emotionally, psychologically, energetically, and even physically. So if you're not aware that you are an empath, you might be wandering around the earth feeling like A, you're a freak of nature, B, whatever the hell is going on with you, it is a total curse. And you may have heard like, oh, you're too sensitive all of your life, right? And that you need to toughen up. Hi, Shannon. And so I am here to tell you that sensitivity is your gift. Okay. And it is, it's just your gift. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at my notes and I'm like, what am I talking about here? And when you start to learn about it, you are going to understand that soul care and boundaries are the two things that you cannot live without. Oh my God, me too, Stacey. I mean, I'm always too sensitive. And then I'm like, you know what? That's actually my gift. And so the science behind that too sensitive is really kind of neat. Like we have this thing called a mirror neuron system, which is in our brain. And that part of our brain was created to connect with others, to empathize, and to have compassion for another human being. Everybody has it, and ours, hi Kelly, ours is hyperactive. And so we are overly compassionate. We are overly connecting. We are overly feeling. So it's just how our brains were made. And another little fun fact is that if you have an underactive mirror neuron system, which I don't think anybody has in this group, they have found that most sociopaths and psychopaths have underactive mirror neuron systems, which I think is pretty cool. Because, side note, I'm obsessed with serial killers and cults. So it's the whole psychological perspective. Another really cool theory is the emotional contagion. And this is a pretty cool psychological concept that whatever somebody is feeling, so if we had this entire group in a room and somebody starts to feel fear super intensely, it is going to be contagious to the other people energetically. Oh, I'm so glad, Stacey. And of course it's hitting you with the feels. Because that's what we do, we feel. And so this emotional contagion is a psychologically researched theory. And so if you are feeling fear, other people are going to feel the fear, and it's going to spread. And the same goes for any other emotion. Like, so if you're feeling joy, you are going to spread that too. Which is why I am constantly telling my clients and you guys, turn it inward and feel what you're feeling in your body, because your body is the sponge, along with your energy system, but it is the natural decoder to tell you what the fuck is going on. Okay. And so because we are super absorbers, we are going to pick up on somebody else's emotional contagion, or not even somebody else's. Hey, let's look at humankind right now. Let's look at the systemic racism that is being unearthed in our country right now. And, the COVID, I sound like my grandma, the COVID, sorry, it's the New York accent coming through, but not sorry. And COVID and all the fear that's happening there. It's like, as empaths, we are absorbing all of it, which is, again, why we have to be super more hyper aware in a lot of ways of what we are interacting with, whether it's social media, whether it's media, whether it's toxic friends, whether, it's like, what are you absorbing and taking in either consciously or unconsciously? Okay, because we can't let that shit go as easily as 80% of the population. Okay. I had a client last week who was doing a deep dive into media, was feeling super depressed and super anxious. And I told her, I said, you need to cut your media. Just look at the headlines, people. Be aware of what's going on in the world and in our country. Absolutely. And don't deep dive. And so I actually gave her a homework assignment. You know what the homework assignment was? And I'm going to give it to you guys too. Go watch Too Cute on Hulu. And if you don't know what it is talk about a joy, emotional contagion. It is a show on Hulu. I guess it's on Animal Planet, and it follows, God, I love it. I'm just getting happy thinking about it. Little puppies and little kittens from birth until 12 weeks. And it is honestly the cutest show on the planet. And when I watch it, I feel happy and I feel joy. I have absolutely a clue of what's going on in the world and in our country. And I need to take little breaks and I need to protect myself. You have to know your body and understand when it is feeling drained, when it's feeling activated. Oh my God, totally. I love the narrator's voice. You're like everything. It's like an empath's dream. Too cute. Like, please go watch it and report back. Because I can't get enough of that show. And so, you have to always continually to ask yourself, like, is this happening for me or to me? And is this, going back to the emotional contagion, is this mine or somebody else's? So this past weekend, I got super, super triggered. And I didn't know if I was going to share this or not on here, but I'm going to share it. And I will talk more about it in the relationship section about how we attract relationships and stuff. I have a whole little Facebook Live on relationships. I got super, super triggered this weekend, and I had to leave the situation that I was in. I went into the bathroom, and my entire energy field and emotional system was super triggered. And I breathed my way out of it so that I could stay in my body. And then, and this is the tip that I wanted to leave. So when you get triggered, because you're an empath, and so you have heightened sensitivity, you have to learn how to get yourself out of it so you're not ridiculously reactive. And so I went into the bathroom and I breathed long and deep breaths, and I was having trouble recalibrating my energy. And then what came to me, and I was feeling it all in my solar plexus chakra, which is like right where your ribs meet, which is it's your emotional, it's your gut, it's your emotional brain. It's where like your inner child gets triggered, and it's your power center. And I took cold water and I put it on that chakra, and I put it on whatever other chakra I intuitively felt I needed it. But you could feel where in your body you're getting activated. And so I did that. And then I was like, oh, okay. This was I was like, here it is. I have to share this with you guys today. And so, and the other piece of it is that I will share more in relationships is this little trigger set off so I'm just going to say it. I was in an emotionally abusive and at the end physically abusive relationship from when I was 17 to 21. And Rob didn't know about it until this weekend. And it really kind of brought our relationship to a whole nother level of healing because, and again, I wasn't going to share all of this, but I'm going to share it. And so, because I feel like it is going to be so helpful for you guys, that empaths, when you are an unempowered empath and you don't know that you're an empath, you attract unhealthy, dysfunctional, and abusive relationships. And so when you start, and I left that, thank God, and I always said like, oh, well, I was 21 and I got out of it, and I always kind of dismissed it. But a lot of shame came up when sharing this with Rob, and he had no idea. And he's like, oh my gosh, this puts a lot of pieces of the puzzle together. And it was really good and cathartic and healing. And and so if you're not aware that you're an empath, you're likely going to be in a lot of really toxic and dysfunctional relationships. And so go and take the quiz and start to learn about yourself and your gift and your senses, because once you start to do that and you start to build upon all of these amazing gifts, you become more empowered and you start to attract healthy relationships into your life. And so, which I do, and I have. And so, I don't even know where I was going with that. But so it is super important to, when you're triggered, breathe long and deep. Find out where in your body you're feeling tight or nauseous or constricted, and then put cold water or ice cubes or an ice pack on those places, because it will immediately not desensitize you, but it will deactivate your nervous system, because again, mirror neuron system, it's all energy, it's all brain science, and it's all emotions and feelings. And so that is what I wanted to share with you guys today. And so, after all this stuff, like, again, because I'm who I am, I'm like, okay, why did this little trigger, why did it happen for me? And it had to heal an aspect of our relationship. And it was so amazing. And not heal an aspect of our relationship, actually. It was just like I had to share this part of myself that I had a lot of shame about with my husband of freaking 14 years. And that was the healing part of it, that he was able to hold that space, and I was able to release what I had to release. So, always ask yourself, like, why is this happening for me? Is this mine? And if it's not yours, send it away. See it floating away in a bubble, or ground yourself and center yourself. And so that is what I want to share today. Next week, what am I talking about? Oh, the trials and tribulations of being an empath. That's all the challenges. So stay tuned for that. Have an amazing week, and do your soul care and set your boundaries. And I'll see you next week. Mwah. Bye.